Welcome back to the channel. So today we are going to go over data validation in Google Sheets. So data validation, exactly as the name is validating the data in a row, in a column, in a single cell to make sure that the values that are inputted are valid or exactly the type of data that you want in there. So for this example, this is like a little employee table. Do like the date they're hired, their name, their email, their phone number. So what we're going to want to do is go to the date hired table, click data, click data validation. So now we're going to create a new role. So for this range, we can delete this, Control Shift down, select all, click OK. So the criteria is valid date. So there has to be a valid date in here. So you can either reject the input or show a warning. For most cases, showing a warning would probably be fine. But if you really don't want people inputting the wrong thing, you could reject the input maybe for like specific amounts of numbers for like a sales order or an invoice number. That could be useful. You could even show like an example date here, but let's hit done. Okay, so now let's just try to enter anything. Let's just try to enter John. So now when you go back, it says invalid. Input must be a valid date. It comes back with this. So now let's try a valid date. And nothing comes up. And so name, you shouldn't have to validate since, there could be a typo with the text. So that would be the most likely issue. In email though, you want to make sure they have an @ symbol. So that's add a rule. And there's an automated checker for this. So text is valid email. So apply to range. Let's click this cell, Control Shift down, click OK. Scroll up to the top, and let's try email. And we get an error. It must be a valid email address. If we go email@email.com, that's a valid email address. Like it's not an actually valid email address, but it just checks for the @ and .com to make sure, those aren't the issues of, why an email is not correct. You could obviously have a typo somewhere in here, but this just makes sure that all these parts are there. And we'll go over for phone number a little different way of doing this, because if you click add role, you can't, just pick is number or anything like that. But so for this example, we'll remove this. We're going to have another cell. We're going to do valid number. And because a phone number could just be like 888-888-8888. Like that's a phone number. You could put the hyphens in there. But you could also have a way of removing the hyphens, just to create this. Okay, and for this column valid number, we will do an AND statement, an if first. So if, and then we'll want to do length of this equals 10, and is num. So type in is number, that cell equals true. And we will value if true, yes, no. You have to put these in quotation marks. So yes, comma, quotation marks, no. Now we need to actually put this at the beginning. So and that if, and then if is number equals true, true, false. In the parentheses, so true, let's put 5 here, let's put 76, and then let's put John. So these are all false, but then we'll do 995633457 and this will come back as true. So you know that this would be a valid phone number. I mean, you don't know if it's going to be able to call and actually get someone on the line, but you know that it should potentially be written correctly. So for the data validation on this end, what we're going to do is add a new rule that, so the range to apply. So we're actually going to start here. We're not even going to do the phone number column. We're going to do this one. It won't be a drop down. So text contains, it contains true. Then we want to, have no warning. So if it's false, then there will be a warning. So then we hit done. And so you can actually hide this column and unhide it to see. But this is useful for figuring out if you have the right length of a number and if someone inputted the correct data that you're asking for. And this is more like for you to use if you had a situation where you just want to make sure that people are inputting the correct stuff. So there's just a couple things to help with making sure you have the right stuff, and that's actually do one. So let's change this is validate. So that's use the reject the input. Okay, so this should now be, let's put in Jim. Seeing there was a problem. So that's the rejection. It won't even let you input anything unless it is a valid date like that. All right, well, thanks for watching. Comment, like, subscribe. I'll be doing tutorials for anything you'd like to see. So just ask and I'll make a video on that. Thanks. Bye.